guys. Today's going to be kind of like a hodgepodge day here at the shop. We got the tank painting going on, which we'll continue to work on that. And I also got a couple of things that I want to start working on as well. Start puttying up the stand, and then we're probably going to work on the sump section of the stand as well, because I'm going to be putting in the order today for the bulkheads for this, as well as the gate valves and all that stuff. Hopefully we can get the sumps here as well. Really what I want to do is for the rest of this week kind of get both the freshwater tanks and the frag tanks in a place where we can start putting water in them next week. So there's like lots of little things to do to get them to that point. So last night I actually got an email during the premiere of that video for a vendor that is going to be able to supply me with some freshwater fish. So pretty pumped about that. They didn't have the most huge selection, so I'm definitely going to be looking for some more vendors. I want to have at least like 3 vendors for each thing. I want to have 3 saltwater fish vendors. I want to have 3 freshwater vendors, 3 coral vendors at minimum, just so I can have the ability to offer more, and if there's a deal going on, be able to snatch up that deal. Today we're also going to put in an absolute monstrous dry goods order, and with that we'll probably get the website going when that delivery shows up as well. A lot of you have been asking about the name of the business, and I'm going to share that when the signs get installed on the front of the building. It'll be a little bit of a reveal for you guys, and when we do that, hopefully we'll have the website up. And for those of you that want to support the channel, support what we're doing here at the shop, that will be there for you guys to be able to get all the things that you need for your reef tank. And once we get the store up and running, we get some dry goods in here. I'm not going to be able to get everything that a fish store needs, just because there's been a tremendous amount of money spent, and really to get all the little things that a fish store needs, it would be insane. What I've been trying to do with this first initial order is I've been trying to buy 2 or 3 of everything, as opposed to like just focusing on something and buying 6 or 7 of something, which usually drives down the cost the more that you buy. So I'm kind of not really getting as much of a value on the products that I'm buying, because I am buying fewer than I typically would once I'm up and running. But I've mentioned this a few times. There's always been that circumstance of you have, or at least what I think, what people are going to want, and then there's what people actually want. There was, with the tank vendors the tank vendor that came yesterday, they had a closeout sale the day before the tanks showed up, and there was a couple things in there. I actually tried ordering a bunch of stuff, but some of it was already gone by the time they got my email. But I was able to pick up a couple of LED lights. I got an entire aquarium system, which I will be offering in store. Hopefully there's going to be a lot of things coming together next week. So I'd like to have water in the frag tanks by the end of next week. I'd like water to be in the freshwater tanks by the end of next week, and most of the painting that is going to take place done. So part of having the water is also getting the RODI system going. I think starting out, I'm going to use my own RODI system that I've been using at the house. I'll just change out all the filters on it, because it kind of needs the filters done already. We'll do the pre-filters, we'll do the membrane. I have a new membrane, and I'm not exactly even sure what the water is like here yet, so that'll be a little bit of a thing as well. But today, what we're going to be working on in today's video is I'm going to be painting the sides of the tank. Hopefully we can get that done pretty quick, because it only took about an hour for these to dry last night. I did take a little bit of spray paint to the edge because I wasn't able to get all the way to where the plastic meets the glass with the roller. But we're gonna slap some more paint on these tanks. I got 10 more in the back that I need to paint up. Hopefully we can get them in the rack. I also got the lights yesterday, which I now know why they were the cheapest lights I could find. Incredibly small. Almost a little too small. But what I'm thinking is it might work out okay. It's going to be a kind of dimly lit tank, which is definitely my style. I like that quite a bit. I've always been a big fan of the Kessel lights because they're kind of like a spotlight. I think it's going to look pretty cool once the fish are in there, water's in there, and having those lights on to see like the school swimming out of the light. But they're not as big as I had hoped, and that's probably why the price was as good as it was. But we're running with it right now. That's what we get. So that whole system is going to get replaced at some point. It isn't a system that is for the longevity of the store. It cost me about the same amount to do all of that, buy all these tanks, the nuts, the bolts, the wood, the trim, the paint, to do this entire rack as it would for, I would say, about 2 sections of commercially built aquariums. Now, there's benefits to the commercially built aquariums, but starting out, there were certain things that I wanted to focus on, and that wasn't one of them. And I figured I'd be able to build it myself. It'd look good. I'd get a lot more bang for my buck, and I'd be able to put my money elsewhere. So that's why we built the stand as to the way that is. I think I got about 3,000, maybe 3,500 into that whole system. It's probably only that much because of one, we have the marine land tanks, which the marine land tanks are a little bit more expensive than the all glass aquariums. Then the cost of wood is just obscene. And I bought the good wood too when I did that, but that wood was cheaper than the wood that I ended up buying for the frag tanks. It went up $1.50 between the time that I built that, $1.50 per stud, and the time that I built the frag tanks. But we still got some things to go. We got some dry goods kind of starting to show up here. Did get another account from a somewhat local vendor, which I'm happy about that. As you can see in the back, I started to paint the frag tanks just to see what that was going to look like. Had a little extra paint after painting the aquariums. And then, I don't know if I talked about that yesterday or not, but that is going to be the water tank stand. We might have to put a little bit more wood on it just because I do want to wrap that, and I'm going to try to make this very similar to what the cash out section is going to be. So a lot of good things going on today. Odds and ends of stuff, nothing really, hugely. It's not like aquariums are delivered today, or we're working on the frag tank. The frag tanks are almost done. But I got some little odds and ends of things to do today, really, so I can get to the point where we got the tanks painted. We're starting to paint the frag tanks. I do need to work on the sump section of the tanks, the frag tanks, and I started messing around with the pumps that I'm going to be using. So I have done quite a few video reviews of these MaxBack jump pumps, and they're pretty rugged. And the one thing that I do like about them, which I got one more at home, but I forgot to grab it. Actually, I'll leave that with the water box. But what I want to do with these pumps, one's a 10K, one's a 12K. I think this is the 12K. But what I want to do with these pumps is basically have them run a entire system. So one system is ran off from, I'd say the 10K, which the live rock system is going to get to 10K. And then the 12K will go to the strictly corals system. But I'm messing around with some pipes and seeing how that works out with the max spec jump return pumps. And I thought I was going to go, or at least I'm going to try, I think at first, using 3/4 inch. So we got a reducer right there and a T so that we can tee off and then go to both aquariums from there. I might even go down the road of not quite reducing down to 3/4 inch, 1.5 to 1 inch, then running up to a pipe and then turning it to 1 inch to 3/4, and then running off the tee. I've never really been big on, a lot of water movement through the sump. I've always kind of liked to just put enough water through it, so the water is obviously going to stay heated, but to give, all that filter media that's down there, the skimmer contact time with the water before it's returning it to the system, and obviously, replacing or replenishing the water to the tanks. But what that's going to end up doing to me is when you have these frag tanks, and the flow isn't crazy going through the pipes and returning to the tank, is you're going to need another form of water movement. And we'll end up doing that with, some pumps, obviously. Probably going to use gyre pumps in these tanks, just because where they're so, shallow, that it just makes more sense to do that. But that's part of the reason why we left this space here in the bottom, so we can take those gyre pumps and just stick them there. And then, the sump will be there, and we'll have some type of electrical box down there for all the bricks and all that stuff. So a lot of things to think about today. Got to get some more stores lined up for as far as, being able to, not stores, but distributors. So when we're ready, we got water in these tanks. They're cycled, all that stuff, which we are going to use a bacteria, probably Dr. Tim's one and only, to get these systems cycled as fast as we possibly can. Get some fish in here, and then slowly build up for that June 1st date. So got a lot of things to do. I think this week I'm going to have to at least get that RO system here and running, so I can start pulling water and be in a position where the water isn't just brand new out of the faucet and then throwing corals in here and all that stuff. So we'll get some water pulled and let it age a little bit before we're throwing it in these tanks. But so we got some stuff to do. Let's get some tank painting going on. I got to knock that out. Got to get a hold of some distributors today, and I want to buy some stuff for the frag tanks, the sumps. Not buy the sumps, but buy the wood so I can build out the platform for the sumps. There's only going to be one sump under 2 tanks, and yeah, that's what we're working on today. So what's up, guys? I just got back from the Home Depots, and I was pretty pumped because I found a piece that I'm going to be able to use as an adapter from the blower to the PVC pipe that we're going to run across the top. I need to paint that up so I can get that installed and get it all connected. But I also bought some more wood. I bought some wood for the stands, and so I can build out the sump portion, or at least what the sump's going to be up on. And studs, at least in my area, are now $9 a piece. I'm probably not going to be building too much more of anything, just because the prices are crazy. I need to buy one more sheet of plywood, which is going to pretty much break the bank, and I'm done. After that, I'm not buying anymore. So pretty crazy stuff. But well, this isn't ending the way that I wanted it to today. Got a little situation going on at home, so I'm gonna have to cut this short today. All right, guys, thank you for watching today's video. Probably not gonna do a premiere tonight, just do an upload. Thank you for all the support. I appreciate all the kind words, and you guys are awesome. Thank you. I will see you here tomorrow, and hopefully everything's good. Talk to you later.